Hola, buenos días.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
This is Barb.
And this is Estela.
Welcome to
Cafecito
and Crime. So today we are sponsored our story by Estela. Sponsored by the letter E.
It's my turn.
It's Estela's turn today.
This week.
And so let's not take too much time. Grab your cafecito.
And let's get started. Okay, so for today's case, this is going to come out, what, for like the week of Valentine's? Yeah. What's today's?
Yeah. Valentine's week. So Valentine's would be Tuesday, so this would be out Thursday.
Okay,
yes.
So it's going to be Valentine-y theme.
Okay.
Yeah, this was your daughter's idea.
Yeah, this was my baby girl's idea. That was nice of her.
I didn't even think about it. I wasn't even thinking of doing anything themey.
But it's okay. Why not?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Why
So
not?
she's not going to listen to it, but it was her idea.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, no, she can't listen.
No.
But she really wants to, but she cannot. I mean, I feel like there's some stuff that is okay, but some stuff like...
It's not.
It's not. And then hablamos puras pendejadas, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, she's used to that.
Yeah, she is.
She's pretty cool, but...
She's pretty chill.
You know, whatever.
Anyways, but this was her idea.
So how was your week?
I had a good week.
Good.
How was your week?
My son was sick. And I actually had a pretty good coffee week. You know, that's how I rate my week.
As
how
you
good
should.
my coffee
As you
was.
should.
I found a new creamer, so
Oh, yeah.
it's good.
I was supposed to have some.
You know what? We forgot. But today we did get coffee from our local coffee place, and I got the caramel latte.
Vanilla.
Samesies.
It's pretty good. It's a new place that we've been going to.
Yeah.
The second time.
Yeah, we've been going to, we go like una semana and shit. No.
Once a week.
But
it's been twice.
Pero for my coffee, I had a good coffee week, so we're good.
That's nice.
All right, well, let's get started. Tómale el café.
Ya le tomé.
Breakfast of champions we had today, by the way. We had pan con café.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Okay, so for today's case, we're going to Peoria, Illinois.
Peoria. A ver, di eso 3 veces.
Peoria.
¿Así se dice?
Peoria.
Okay.
Yeah. And the fun, interesting, random, well, I guess it's not random. I like people actually know this. Like this is, I think, very important
Or a fact.
About Peoria is that it is the home to the National Center for Agricultural Utilization Research, commonly known as the AG Lab.
Cool.
Now, the AG Lab is where it was discovered how to mass produce penicillin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, penicillin was discovered in England.
Penicillin is the best.
Yeah, all the cillins. Penicillin was discovered in England in 1928 by bacteriologist Alexander Fleming. But it wasn't...
Wow, bacteriologist?
Yeah, say that 3 times.
Bacteriologist.
Hey, good job.
Thanks.
Oh. But it wasn't until the 1940s when the English scientists were referred to the AG lab in Peoria so they could mass produce it, because the war was happening at the time and they didn't have the resources in England to do it. So they were referred to the AG lab, and scientists here were already working on methods on how to increase the rate of fungal cultures.
Chingon, bro. That's awesome.
So, girl, if you're ever in Peoria and you're like, tengo bacteria. You're like, I need all the penicillin.
All of the penicillin. And they have it there.
They have it.
They can just give it to you.
Yeah. They'll give you hasta lo que no quieras.
Wow.
But yeah, that's what Peoria is known for. Okay, so we're going to start with Denise.
Okay.
And Denise was born on February 3rd of 1974 in Dade County in Florida, which always reminds me of CSI Miami.
No, you know what it reminds me of?
¿Quién?
Rick Ross. Every time. Dade County, girl. Anyway.
And to her parents, Douglas and Diane Newton.
Okay.
Tenía una hermana. Deanna was her name. And at some point, La Familia, they moved to Peoria, Illinois, which is where today's case takes place. In the 80s, Denise attended a small Baptist school. And when she was in 4th grade, she met Nathan Leuthold, who later would become her husband. Nathan was a year younger. So cuando se conocieron, she was in 4th grade.
She was a cougar, girl. She was a cougar.
She was in 4th grade. He was in 3rd grade.
Oh, cute.
They wouldn't really get to know each other until later when they're a little bit older. And they would actually attend, I guess it was kind of like a smaller community, I guess, because they would attend the same middle school and the same high school, Nathan and
Well, yeah, kind of like here, like you have everything that's around your community.
Area,
yeah, okay. If you're kind of neighbors, like if you're neighboring, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was in high school when they became friends. Like they knew who each other were and stuff like that. And Nathan said that as soon as he saw her, even in elementary school, when he first met her, he liked her then.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah, y luego, like I said, se hicieron amigos in high school. They both came from very religious families, so they were not allowed to date. So it just became really good friends.
Because they were Baptist.
Yes.
Okay.
They both go to each other's churches and each other's churches' activities. In school, Denise was a cheerleader and he was a basketball player.
That is so like typical telenovela, you know?
Yeah, like sitcom on la televisión and everything. And Nathan was always at Denise's house, hanging out. Y su mamá de Denise says that, he pretty much lived there. Ahí se la pasaba. And they got really close. They were always laughing and being goofy together, like puppy love, like high school.
So sweet. Don't do it because then after that, it doesn't stay that way. Yeah.
And then everyone knew that they were going to be together. Like they were eventually going to start dating. And I'm assuming that at some point they did start dating. And since Denise was a year older, she graduated high school first and she went off to college in Minnesota.
Okay.
Nathan followed her a year later when he graduated high school. So también se fue to college in Minnesota.
To the same college? Okay.
And a year after that, Nathan proposed to Denise.
Aww.
And she said yes, of course, but it wasn't a surprise to anyone.
You're like, yeah, I already knew it.
Yeah, we saw it coming.
It's still like cute when you get proposed to. Yeah. Can't relate.
But you're married.
I'm married, but I can't relate.
That's so funny to me.
Can't relate, bitch.
So Denise and Nathan got married on July 15th of 1995. I had just turned 4.
Did you have to make a calculation for that, pendeja? Like, you were like, I just turned 4. Just estúpida.
And it was a wonderful day, not just for Denise and Nathan, but for their family and their friends. They had known each other since they were, 8, 9, maybe?
So it was more like just like a party, everybody that knew each other just together,
Yeah, more, family and friends, yeah. After they got married, Denise and Nathan settled in their hometown of Peoria, Illinois. They didn't want to be anywhere else because that's where both their families were and such. And that's where they pretty much grew up. Denise then went to work for an insurance company and Nathan was in sales. So a couple of years go by and they're living their day-to-day, going to work, being involved in their church, spending time with friends and family. And Nathan for a while had felt that he had like a more significant religious calling. Como que sentía que he should be doing more, that he could be doing more for his church.
Okay, I get it. Mm-hmm.
And in 1998, he approached another young couple in their church about missionary work that they did in Lithuania.
I've always wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it through a church. I'm sorry, not that I mean, everybody has their own, but I would do it through like the medical, like in the medical field to try to go. I know my sister had gone to like
Isn't that
somewhere.
what your brother's doing?
I mean, my brother's dumb, so I don't know what my brother's doing. But
he's in
Switzerland. But I've always wanted, so I would tell the doctor that I used to work with all the time, like, let's just go to Mexico. Vamos a ayudar a la gente.
Isn't that called Doctors Without Borders?
I don't know if
I think there's different.
Yeah, I think it's different ones. Pero Doctors Without Borders es el pinche de la pinche esta. Greg's Anatomy way.
Yes. No. When I think of Doctors Without Borders, it reminds me of Leo from Will and Grace.
Oh, yes. No, but that's something that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah,
I think
that's awesome.
At least go and like
try to
help them or teach them about diabetes or whatever it is. That's cool.
Yeah.
But missionary work.
Yes. And when he approached the couple, y la couple le dijo about their work that they did, it was like a light bulb went off for Nathan. And he felt that was it. That's what he wanted to do.
That was his calling.
That was his bigger calling.
Okay, got it.
So he asked the young couple if Denise and himself could join them. And the couple were like, yeah, of course. The more the merrier, sure.
But what did Denise say? Does she want to go?
They talked it over, and they agreed to go together. And since they were going to be leaving the country, Nathan and Denise had to get rid of their place where they lived and sell everything that they owned.
Wait, rewind. So se iban a ir, pero they needed to go and not come back? Like they can't come back to their home and stuff?
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, I'm like, wait a minute. Give me a second.
One momento, por favor.
I mean, I'm thinking like you're young, you just got married, you guys have been working
early
together.
20s.
Yeah, I get that, pero like, wait a minute, I have to come back to something. That's just me. I don't know about everybody else out there.
So they sold most of their possessions, but except for like some like small things here and there, because they moved in with Denise's parents for about 6 months to raise money to go to Lithuania and be there for a while.
Okay, now I'm going to ask something might sound dumb. Where is Lithuania?
In Europe.
In Europe? I'm going to look at it.
Isn't it bordering Syria, if I'm not mistaken?
It is. Hold on.
No, not Syria.
No, it's north of east and so tú northeast, como que si estuviera ahí. It's in south of Poland.
Okay.
And Russia, southeast.
Okay.
So
I don't know why I was thinking Syria. They study the language and the culture, and, they try to prepare themselves to go to Lithuania. So they weren't just even a llegar and then, not learn how to speak their language or anything like that.
So, sorry, for context, it's in between Russia, Finland, and Sweden. Está como, like, in Poland. Está como en medio de todo eso.
Okay.
So, ahí anda mi brother. Haciéndose güey.
But your brother's in Switzerland.
Pues sí, por allá, no? I don't know. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry about that, Stella. I just wanted to know because I kind of wanted to...
Put yourself there.
Yeah, imagine, like, what's the life like? Is it in the jungle? Like, or... Yeah, okay.
So eventually, they saved their money and within 6 months, and they made their way to Lithuania, where they stayed for a year. And personally, I didn't really know what it entailed to do missionary work. So I looked it up. I had some kind of like a generic ideas, but missionary work usually kind of involves promoting faith, providing services to people such as education, literacy, social justice, healthcare, and economic development.
Oh, so to kind of help
build a community.
Yeah, okay, I get it. All right.
So after that first year, like I said, they returned back to the States. They again moved in with Denise's parents. And I believe Denise was pregnant already at that time because not very long after they came back, she gave birth to their firstborn, a baby boy named Seth.
Oh, Seth.
I like that.
Like Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
Cute.
So a couple of years later, Denise gave birth to their second child, a baby girl named Julia.
Ay, la Julia.
Sí.
Ay, la madre.
Now, in el 2002, the family of 4 went back to Lithuania to continue. Con los babies. So they went back to continue their missionary work.
I mean, I'm so sorry. How much of a difference of age is there between the kids? 2 years,
yeah,
right?
Seth and Julia are 2 years apart. Yeah.
Tan chiquitos.
So they did this. This would go on for like the next 8 years. That's what they would do. They would be here, leave, be here, leave, and then, like that.
Wow.
So to kind of add to what I said about the missionary work that they did, Nathan also said that they'd help women in abusive relationships.
Okay.
And they'd help bring and sponsor several Lithuanians to the U.S. whenever they could. And it'd be for them to, go to school here, escape cultural differences from their home country to, have different ones here. To find a better life, para ponerla. Para que tengan better opportunities.
So se las traían para acá.
Yeah, sponsor.
Okay,
yeah.
Got it. All right.
They wanted to help in any way that they could, not only because that's what they were there for, but because they also became really close to the families that they would meet over there.
Yeah, I imagine. It's hard not to, like, put yourself in their shoes and stuff.
And get close to them, you know?
That's sweet. Uh-huh.
Now, Denise's mom, Diane, says that Denise was supporting Nathan in the missionary work.
I feel like Denise is not like, I don't know, pero, I mean...
It was Nathan's calling,
like,
¿verdad?
that wasn't her calling. Like, like that's why I asked you, like, what does Denise feel? Because, I mean, I don't go... I'm sorry, but I don't give a shit what anybody tells me. My husband be doing some stupid ass shit and I'll be telling him, hey, I'm not going to do that. But there's some wives que son más, mejores que yo. And they're like, okay, I'll go with you, whatever. Let's try it, Pero ya tienen cuántos años ya?
They did this since beginning 1998. So they did it for like the next, honestly, 12, 13 years.
I mean, think about it. 13 years, I could be, raising my kids in mi casa, just taking care of things, haciendo huevo con chorizo, and just being, chill.
Yeah.
Pero now they're having to go back and forth, and it sounds like she's not, I mean, not that I don't know Denise personally, but personally as a woman that is married, like,
with children,
fuck off. Like, no, I don't want to do that all the time. You know, un día o dos, but I mean, unos años sí, pero 13 years, like, bro.
Yeah.
And then not only that.
In between those times, they would go be there a couple of years and then come back and so
pero
forth.
Estoy hablando de que this is the beginning of your marriage is when you're supposed to be like trying to build your family, not, going back and forth to Lithuania. Yeah, that.
What Denise loved was being a mother and a wife.
Yeah.
I mean, and she was doing that. She was being a mother and a wife. She was supporting her husband.
A ver, y tú te vas, güey. Tú te fueras.
I don't know. I can't say that I wouldn't, and I can say that I would.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
I mean, I think que yo sí me iba, pero like to an extent, pero like, because if it's not what I wanted to do, then, I mean, I don't know. But that's just my opinion.
And while in Lithuania, Denise became more immersed in the church.
Oh, okay.
I mean, and they were both religious. I mean, that wasn't, she was just a joy to be around. Like Nathan says that she was very musical and very lively. She played the piano and she teach piano to the kids, and she'd teach them Bible stories and stuff like that. So everybody just loved her, And by 2010, Nathan and Denise were back in the U.S.
And how old were you? A ver.
19. 19. I had to think about it.
I was already married by 2010. Esta pendeja.
I was like,
I was turning 4.
So like I said, by 2010, Nathan and Denise were back in the U.S. and Denise had already given birth to their third baby.
Oh, they had 3. Okay.
Yeah, 3. A baby girl named Janelle.
Janelle.
Again, they were living with Denise's parents at 700 West Mossville Road. Okay. They were living regular lives. The 2 oldest kiddos were in school, and the baby was in daycare. Denise and Nathan, of course, were still very involved in their church.
So I have a question. How were they getting money?
I was about to get there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nathan worked on raising money, raising funds for their next missionary trip for the church. So he would go from church to church, show them the work that they did for Lithuania, and he'd get donations and such. Okay. And the church, his church, would pay him a certain amount of money a week for him to be able to do that.
So that was his job, basically. Okay,
yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I guess to put his church out there, okay, I get it.
And Denise was a stay-at-home mom. She stayed home with the kids. I mean, she did some stuff here and there también, but mostly that's what she did, which is what she loved. She wanted to be home with her children. And things were like that up until February 14th of 2013.
Happy Valentine's Day to you.
The day started like any other day. It was Valentine's Day, and Denise and Nathan always included the children in the little Valentine's Day celebration. The kids would get goodie bags or a goodie basket, y se los daban a los niños, and they were able to take them to school with them. And Nathan, that day, he said that he bought a card and some roses for Denise the night before. So cuando se despertó en la mañana, they were there for her in the kitchen and stuff. So she saw that. The kids grabbed their stuff and they got dropped off at school. And Nathan and Denise went kind of their separate ways to run their errands for the day and stuff. Their youngest daughter, Janelle, only went half a day to a daycare, kind of like a kindergarten class. Yeah. And which Denise would take her. Pero Denise se quedaba con ella en la mañana, and she would drop off Janelle in the afternoon, around 12:15 por ahí. 12:15, 12:20.
Y la dejaba the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, and then they would pick her up along with the other kids when they got out of school. At the end of the day, Nathan was on his way to pick up Janelle. Okay. So Nathan was going to pick up the baby. She's not a baby. She was already 4, but a baby.
Toddler.
The toddler.
She was your age in July.
When they got married.
Yeah,
And when he was in the process of picking up Janelle, he was notified that Denise didn't pick up Julia from school.
Oh, wait.
Which was really odd.
Yeah.
Nathan says that his parents called him and they asked him, hey, if he needed them to pick up Julia.
There probably were the emergency contacts and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
He told them, just wait. She might be just running a little bit late, right? But be on standby. I'm going to call you back. He was going to go by the house because the daycare de Janelle was super close to their house. Mm-hmm. So he was like, I'm just going to run by the house real quick. I'm going to check if her car's there. And I'll give you guys a call back to see if you guys need to pick up Julia. Mm-hmm. So Nathan got in his little car. He picked up Janelle, got in his car and drove home. Y cuando llegó, he saw que la puerta del garage was open. But there wasn't a car in the garage.
Okay.
And then he got out. And then he said that halfway into the garage from where he was at, he saw that there was broken glass on the floor. And I'm assuming the door that leads into the house or something, you know?
Yeah, the garage door. Okay.
So he said that he got a really bad feeling. And he said that his mind just went to be somebody's in the house. So he got back into his car, que ahí estaba la niña. He reversed into the neighbor's driveway and then he called the police. And he called the police, which was shortly after 3 p.m.
Okay.
Now, Officer Linthicum.
No, not the Linthicum. Not the Linthicum. No, Estela, no mames.
He was the first to arrive and he entered the home through the open garage door. He did a brief overlook on the inside of the home from where the garage led into the kitchen and then just waited for backup. He just como que peló el ojo así poquito and then he was like, okay, I'm going to wait.
Maybe they're como
Porque para ver. Estaba solo. I guess you have to wait for backup.
I don't know how that works. I'm not a cop. Pero me imagino como para estar seguros que there's no one in immediate danger that you can run and help, I guess.
like nobody screaming or something like that. Yeah. So when backup arrived, Officer Linthicum and Campus entered the home. And there was broken glass on the floor. Not sure if it was from a door that led into the... Not sure if it was from a door that led from the garage into the home. The kitchen cabinets were open and drawers were on the floor. So they... slowly but surely were making their way into the home, and they found Denise in a pool of blood by the front door.
Oh my God.
So they entered through the garage, and then Denise was found by the front door.
That's crazy, bitch.
She was no longer alive.
Oh.
Detectives...
Pobrecita.
Yeah. Truly. Detectives Jason Lee and Sean Curry were the first detectives on the scene, and they were able to quickly conclude that Denise's cause of death was from a single gunshot wound to the back of the head.
Holy shit.
Que she's still todavía, it was February in Illinois, bitch. It's fucking cold, right? So todavía tenía su coat on, and she still had her gloves on. So...
Like, she wasn't expecting it.
No, like, as soon as she made it through the door, somebody shot her.
Wow.
Somebody shot her. She was 39.
39.
She had just turned 39 because her birthday was at the beginning of February.
That is crazy. Oh, you know what? That was Martin Luther King's age when he died too, 39. Oh. And his birthday was January 15th.
Martin Luther King Day. Now, inside the home, it was like somewhat ransacked. There were some items that have been stolen, such as like watches, a laptop, a digital camera, and 2 guns.
Eso es lo que no me cabe a mí en la cabeza. Like, if you're going to go in to steal, like, why kill people? Like, she wasn't going to come in there and hurt you.
Like, I think they were thinking that maybe ella entró as the robbery was going on,
Well, yeah, that's fine. I would have been like, take everything, motherfucker. I don't care. Like, I'll sit here and watch you.
She's not a threat.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll sit here. Yo te digo tan las cosas. Like, go. I just don't understand why... I don't know. I'm not a criminal, thank God. Pero if I was, then, I don't know. I would be like, no, pobrecita. Like, déjenla.
Yeah, she's a mother.
She's a mother, whatever. She's young.
So there was nobody in the house because, remember, she lived with her parents and both her parents were at work.
Let's take a quick break. Persons of Interest is back, and it's bigger than ever.
That scream will echo in my head for many years.
Taser, taser, taser! He's going to shoot!
Oi! Shot fired. Shot fired, shot fired.
Stay out, you got a gun on you!
He had the perfect aim.
I am absolutely stressed at that point. I have no idea where my officers are.
Persons of Interest available everywhere you get your podcasts.
Yeah. So this was not even her house. This is her parents' house.
Right.
Her parents were at work. She just walked in from probably dropping off her baby. Thank God she didn't have the baby because they might have even killed the baby. And you just walk into somebody just stealing and you don't.
They kill you.
They kill you.
And you
like,
can't
that's
even take
crazy.
out your fucking coat and gloves.
I mean, let me at least get undressed.
So one of the guns was a .40 caliber Glock, which was suspected to be the murder weapon based on the shell casing found at the scene. But the gun was never recovered, and the gun would never be recovered. They would never find the gun. Another thing missing was Denise's car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, because te acuerdas que Denise was in the home, but where was her car?
Yeah. Porque llegó, vamos a decir, llegas, you get off of the car, go inside. But yeah, exactly. So they took her keys and shit? Like, what the fuck?
After Nathan gave police a description of Denise's car, it was broadcasted to like the other police officers. The car would be found not long after in a nearby park called Robinson Park, which was literally like a couple of blocks away from the house.
So they just took it and left it? That's stupid.
And about 50 feet away from the car were some gloves. And then a couple of days later, in like a trash can near the car, there would be a set of keys to Denise's car. Now, when all of that was going on, people were investigating, the crime scene. People came and they taped off the home. Nathan was taken to the police station and was interviewed by detective. Yeah.
You already know what that means.
Yeah.
You're always the first suspect as being the spouse.
And he was interviewed by Detectives Curry and Lee. And they asked him about his morning. Nathan told him about it and that, he said that he left his home like around 11:15, 11:30 y se fue a hacer sus mandados. He stopped here, he stopped there, he stopped everywhere. He told him that he didn't return home until after 3. So es cuando fue a recoger la niña que llegó a su casa que le habló a la policía, which was after 3. He also told him that Denise had her own things to do. Que esa mañana, she would spend the morning with Janelle before she dropped her off in La Teresita. And then she was going to go to the bar, she was going to go run some errands, and she was going to go shopping. So es lo que le dijo a los detectives. They also asked him, what he did for a living. And if there was anybody that would want to hurt him or his wife. He said no. They were church-going people, like, what the fuck? They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They asked him if there were any valuables in the home that someone might have known that they had and would want to steal them,
I'm not
right?
trying to be funny, but that ain't his house. So he doesn't know exactly what's in there.
Yeah.
Unless he put something in there himself,
Right. And he said, as far as he knew, no. Like, who would want to target us? He was like, no, there's no way.
Yeah, they're just people that do missionary work. Like, they're usually...
living with their in-laws.
Yeah, like they're like most of the time not even there, you know? Uh-huh.
But he did bring up something that had happened on a couple of occasions in the neighborhood. He said that on 2 occasions he saw a couple of suspicious vehicles in the area. The first time was a couple of weeks before...
Okay.
A couple of weeks before Denise was killed. A car pulled into their driveway with no headlights on. And he saw it, and then he went and turned on the lights de afuera. Y que cuando prendió las luces, el carro se fue.
Yeah.
So he was like, okay, that's fucking weird, right? But he didn't think anything of it. The second time it happened, it was a couple of days on February 12th. Dijo que a car pulled into the neighbor's driveway across the street with no headlights on shortly after midnight.
Okay.
So he called the cops.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
okay.
He called the popo. So by the time the officer showed up, ya no estaba el carro. Yeah. Now, Nathan's interview began around 6 p.m.
Pero no se fijó qué tipo de carro era o nada?
Because it was kind of dark.
Okay.
But you just kind of see the movement, You can see tail lights.
I'll see everything. I'm sorry. Me pongo los lentes. Fuck that. I'll be like, it looked like this, it looked like that. Tenía una pinche...
sticker.
Yeah. Estaba jodido de un lado.
Like I said, the interview began around 6 p.m. and it lasted about 6 hours.
Yeah. Because they think it's him.
Yeah, and they ask you everything and anything,
They have to. That's their job.
Yeah. And Nathan went home a little after midnight. Before he left, Nathan signed 4 consent forms that would allow the police to search su carro, his bedroom, cell phone, and his personal laptop and like a USB that he had or whatever. Now, the very next day, the Newtons, los papás de Denise, also gave police consent to search the rest of their home. Because it was their home, right?
Yeah, definitely. Pobrecita la mamá, ¿te imaginas? Mm-hmm. They had more kids? She had any brothers?
She had a
brother,
a sister,
right?
A sister.
Oh, sister,
yeah.
sister. Pobrecita.
Now, people in the area were like freaked out. They were like, what? Like, this happened here in our neighborhood? It's like a quiet neighborhood. Aquí no pasa nada de esto. A robbery that turned into a murder. So they were like,
it could happen to anybody, right?
Yeah. And I believe some of the schools were like on soft lockdowns. Like, people were scared. And especially because they hadn't caught whoever had done it. Tips did start coming in. A neighbor named Diane Parrish, remember her because she's going to come back, called and told police that she saw a man walking along the side of the street that she lived on at around the time of the murder, which it looked to be like around 12:30.
Okay.
Now, Diane lived a couple of houses down from Nathan and Denise. So if she saw that man walking along the side of the road, that means it was on the same road where Denise and Nathan lived. She said he had a black hoodie on. Mm-hmm. With the hood la tenía para arriba en su cabeza, and that his hands were inside his pockets, and that he looked very agitated.
Like he was pissed.
Yeah. Another neighbor called and told police that they heard a gunshot sometime between 12:30 and 12:45.
Yeah, because at that time, like, no hay mucha gente en tu casa, you're at work.
Yeah.
And you don't, like, when you hear shit like that, like, what the fuck? Like, there's times when you're like, what the hell? Like, you go outside. Like
a loud
noise. I know that they're, fixing a lot of the houses around me right now because of the storm and shit. So a lot of the times I hear something, especially my dog, because he's scared of everything. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, you see oyes cosas and you don't even realize how much you hear during the day.
Yeah, and it's so quiet during the day that any sound, it catches your attention.
Yeah, definitely. So I could see how that happened.
Investigators had these tips and stuff like that. They were gathering information. They were looking everything over that they currently had. And they thought how weird the crime scene was.
Oh, really?
Because remember earlier when I said that when the first officer made it onto the scene and when they went inside, he saw some drawers on the floor.
There were some drawers open on the floor and the cabinets were open.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, those drawers were neatly placed on the floor.
Oh, okay.
They weren't like thrown about. And then officers too also noticed that when there's like a robbery, who fucking goes into the kitchen?
And pull out drawers.
And pulls out drawers. Yeah. And searches through the kitchen,
Dude,
right?
I would be such a good fucking detective. I don't know. I know that you have to be like, but I would be like, can I please apply for that job? But anyway.
Also, something that Nathan told the detectives in an interview seemed odd. Well, when Nathan was getting interviewed, he told police that he owned 3 guns.
Yeah.
And one of them being a .40 caliber Glock. Like, as I mentioned earlier, it had gone missing. They never found that gun. Since it had gone missing, he insinuated to the investigators that whoever had burglarized the home
used it,
had broken into a locked box, because that's where he kept it, into a locked box, and taken the gun and used it like on Denise, because they believed that it was used on Denise at that point, and took it, right? That's why they never found it. But no busted lockbox was found in the home.
Okay.
And investigators thought that was super weird, because no burglar is going to shoot someone and then go back for a busted locked box.
And take it with them.
And then flee the scene. No, you're just going to shoot somebody and fucking haul ass, right? You're not going to fucking go look for a locked box that you broke that gun out of.
Well, yeah. I mean, first you have to go and find the gun.
Right.
And then once you find the gun, you have to break it open. And then
you shoot somebody.
Yeah.
And then you go back for the box and then leave.
That makes no sense, but okay.
Another thing that wasn't adding up was Denise's car being found a couple of blocks away at Robinson Park.
Yeah, because if you're going to use it as a getaway car, you're not going to just go there. You're going to take it.
Right. Or literally the car, the park was like a minute away.
Yeah, like you're going to take it. Be like, okay, I need to get out of here. I'm going to use this car.
Right.
And then not leave the keys.
Yeah. You see, Denise's car keys were found tangled in her hair under her head.
I thought you said the car keys were found in the park.
Right. So her car keys that she used for her car were found under her head, tangled in her hair.
So what were the keys that were found over there?
So who drove her car to the park? If the keys that she used for her car that were right there when she was murdered were found under her.
Okay.
And when they asked Nathan if there was a separate set of keys, because you always have like a spare or whatever. Mm-hmm. Nathan was like, no, as far as I know, there was only one, because whenever I needed to do maintenance on Denise's car or anything, she would always just give me her set of keys. So where did the other set of keys come from?
What the fuck? Okay, now I'm invested.
Investigators asked Nathan if he himself was anywhere near Robinson Park that day, because lo pasaban on the way out of the neighborhood. Maybe he might have seen something or anything like that, because he said that he left the home like around 11:15, 11:30.
Yeah.
And he told them that he had pulled into the Robinson Park because he was taking a phone call, because people don't text and drive.
I don't either.
And the call was from somebody he was sponsoring. You remember, because they sponsor people here and everything like that. So they were like, okay.
But he didn't see anything.
Yeah, he said that he didn't see anything. Now, things were very weird with the case, everything that they had so far. And they were just looking at everyone and everything, that whoever they talked to that day, whoever the places that Nathan had been at were looked at, like everybody, the parents, just anybody.
Yeah, because it was just a weird situation.
Yeah, very weird. Things were not adding up. 2 + 2 is not equaling 4, it's equaling 22. And one of the people that they looked into was, like I just said, who Nathan has spoken to that day, because it was so close to Denise's murder. And her name was Aina Dobliate.
So Aina Dobliate.
Aina Dobliate. She was a 20-year-old exchange student from Lithuania that they were both sponsoring. Now, detectives learned that Denise and Nathan first made Aina when she was 6.
Oh, wow.
In Lithuania on their first missionary trip.
So they were like, they knew her for a long time.
Wow. Yeah, for a long time. The Leutholds became very close to Aina and Aina's family. And when Aina was a teenager, when she was 16, she became really involved with she would work for the Leutholds. So she would babysit all their 3 kids when they were in Lithuania and so on. She would help around the house with chores and stuff like that. And when Aina was 18 in the fall of 2010, they sponsored her and she came to the U.S. on a student visa.
Okay.
And she was studying music. And she attended at Pensacola Christian College in Florida. So she was there. In December of 2011, Aina left the college in Florida. She moved in with Nathan and Denise at her parents' house while she attended Illinois Central College.
Holy shit. Okay, so, but What? Okay, hold on. So you're telling me that the exchange student that they sponsored then was in college, but then moved in with them at their house?
Yeah, and then went to college in Illinois. She was going to college in Illinois.
Okay.
And she was living with, remember, this was Denise's parents' home.
Yeah, like...
So Denise's mom, she was like, they'd known her since she was little. That's how close you get with these people that you spend your time with doing missionary work over there. And it wasn't the first time.
I mean, I completely understand that, but I'm not going to bring somebody that I just met, well, didn't just meet, but I mean, I don't know. Everybody's different, I guess. Okay. My pleasure.
Nobody's coming into my house.
Nobody. I'm sorry. No, especially not a young girl. Girl, what you trying to do? Trying to bring...
And Ina had her, I think she had her like her own bedroom and her own space in the basement, like in the lower level home of the Newtons where everybody lived.
I mean, so now we're having 2, 4...
Family of 5.
Family of 5.
The parents,
2.
8 people.
Damn, that's a lot of people.
Yeah. And remember, they did it all the time. They sponsored a whole bunch of people all the time. They optioned.
But
so Ina wasn't the first one.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they didn't bring them to live with you.
I don't know about that.
Okay, sorry.
Now, in the fall of 2012, Ina moved to Chicago, and she attended college in Chicago. So she was gone from the home. Now, detectives went to interview Ina.
So by this time, Ina, when the murder happened, Ina lives in Chicago.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And at first, they asked her questions about the Leutholds and how they've met and how long los había conocido and stuff like that, you know? Mm-hmm. They also asked her about her schooling and why she had left Florida and was in Illinois. And she told them, you know, que estaba estudiando música. I think something with the piano, like something piano related. And that she had like an accident or there was something wrong and she couldn't play anymore. So she had to leave the college. She had to withdraw, I'm sorry. And they were just, you know, they built up questions. They just don't straight up ask you, hey, bitch, do you know what happened, right? Así nada más no te preguntan. They don't come at you like that.
I would. I'd be like, did you kill her? Did you do her?
That's why you're not a detective. Yeah,
that's why. I thought it was because my personality.
Yeah.
My bad.
Eventually, they asked her about Nathan going to a spa with her.
What?
Now... Earlier, I didn't mention, but one of the places that Nathan attended in the mañanas, the day of, is he told investigators when he was getting interviewed that he went to a day spa to buy a gift certificate for Denise for a spa that they usually would go to, right? Well, they looked into that, of course, and they found out that Nathan was there, but he would go there other times too.
Oh, interesting, Nathan. I mean, by this time they have cameras, so they can see.
Yeah, right. So when they were investigating that, what Nathan told them, the owner of the spa told investigators that Nathan would go to the spa with Denise, but that they didn't know that they were a couple.
What?
Because Nathan would go there with another woman way much more times, and they assumed that those two were a couple because they get like couples massages and shit. And then the other girl that he was with, he'd take her to get waxed.
Wow.
And like get her hair did and stuff. And sometimes he just took her and paid for her stuff.
No mames.
And sometimes they do things together, or sometimes they would do like separate things in the spa. Like uno se iba para un lado y la otra se iba para el otro.
No mames, what the fuck?
So they presented Ina with all this information. And she said she wasn't answering those questions. She said she wasn't going to answer. Y lo se hacía like que no hablaba inglés. She would act like she was confused. Y que no les entendía.
Pues I would have bust out Google Translate. Espérame tantito. Let me get this shit real quick. But this is why I'm not a detective. Yeah.
And decían que she'd glare at them and tell them that she wasn't answering those questions.
But she would, pero sí hablaba enough to answer some questions, but not the questions that they, okay.
They straight up asked her, you know, like, hey, are you having a sexual relationship with Nathan? Which she denied. She was like, no.
I'm already getting pissed off, so...
So the interview ends, right? She was like, no, I'm not having a sexual relationship like with him, blah, blah. Así quedó. Now, Detective Lee and Detective Curry follow up on things Ina told them, right? Because now they interviewed her and they got her little backstory of her life. So they look into the things that ella les dijo a ellos. Some things checked out, but there were some things that did not.
Okay.
Now, they looked at her and the places that she would go to. First, being the college in Florida. You know, she told them that she withdrew because she had issues with her hands. But when they subpoenaed her school record, it said that she was dismissed because of an inappropriate relationship with her sponsor.
Oh,
that
shit.
included staying off campus in a hotel multiple times.
Mames.
And I'm assuming here that if you come on a student visa, you're being sponsored. The college has like some sort of program that you have to follow if you're going to be living on campus and
I
stuff
don't
like
know
that.
very well, but I could imagine like como que you have to like they keep up with you. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, making sure you're not here just to fuck around, you know? But hey, exactly. hey.
Not that kind of fuck
Not
around.
that kind of fuckery, but you know that you're not, you know,
doing
shit you're not supposed to, or that you're coming into the country actually like
being
honest, you know, and being not to come and, you know, anyway.
Investigators then started to look into Nathan's phone records and Ina's phone records, you know, because it's all in the phone, especially in these times.
Bro, you can't fuck around with the fucking phones.
So both their phone records showed an excessive amount of communication between both of them that went way beyond you would think a sponsor and the person that they were sponsoring went. Like they were always in contact with each other.
Okay.
They also found out that Nathan and Ina traveled together to Europe during the summers of 2011 and 2012, like little vacations and shit. Just them two. No, Denise.
Oh, bro, I'm already mad.
Nathan would also go with Ina to like the sports center at her college that she attended at least every other week during the spring semester of 2012. Again, no, Denise. They'd go horseback riding.
A la madre.
Again, no, Denise. And in November and December of 2012, they stayed at luxury apartments in Chicago that Nathan would rent.
Okay, my deal is...
No, Denise.
I know. But my deal is, bitch, you're fucking living with her parents and you're taking the money of the church and doing all of this shit. Horseback riding and shit. Okay, I just want to get that clear. I'm sorry. Go, continue.
They shared a bank account.
What?
Which Nathan would make deposits to.
Fuck all that shit.
He was paying for all of her expenses and her school expenses.
Oh,
or almost all of them, at least.
¿Sabes qué? Ya me enojé.
So to the police, Denise being killed by somebody that was burglaring the home. Is that a word?
Burglarizing?
Oh, anyway.
I don't know. Or stealing from the home. That makes it worse.
Más simple.
Ya la cagué. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, you know what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
So that story was just not like adding up, ¿verdad? Como que ya, like that went out the window a little bit.
Knowing all of this,
now,
ya no, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Pero porque el pobrecito, he just went to go get her gift certificate.
Yeah.
You know?
So they started to look at Nathan a little bit harder on the day of the murder and his whereabouts, right? Mm-hmm. They were able to catch him on surveillance at 4 different places that morning up until 11:30. After that, there was a gap. He didn't show back up on camera until 12:45 at a Starbucks.
Oh, también va al Starbucks, eh?
Yeah.
El compa.
So the timeline kind of fits, right? Mm-hmm. Which would kind of fit with when Denise was killed. So Denise was murdered at around 12:30 p.m. Mm-hmm. Now, remember when I said that Nathan gave consent to have his bedroom search? Well, in the room, they found a black hoodie. Mm. And remember Diane Parrish that called the Popo?
Yeah,
she
that
was
somebody
was walking on the side of the road
with the black hoodie and his hands were in his pocket. Yeah.
Okay, so there's that.
So is she the bad bitch of the story? Oh. Diane?
She's just a good citizen that called in a tip. Now, Nathan, remember, also gave permission to have his laptop searched. It got analyzed. When the report came back a couple of weeks later, it showed searches for how to silence a .40 caliber Glock.
Oh.
Also, different methods for killing a person, such as how to drown someone in the bathtub.
Bro, like straight up, like every time we do these stories, it fucking amazes me every time how people, meaning, because sometimes I'd be looking up some strange ass shit.
Me too.
And I get scared.
Just because I'm curious, though.
So now I'm like, fuck. like, I'm not supposed to be looking up, like, how does your, toenail look? Something dumb like that. Like, I literally look up, not because I want to, like, be, like, I'm just curious for those things. And sometimes I'm like, I shouldn't do that.
Sometimes I'll look up something like, how long does it take for someone to die if, like, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah.
but especially us, because, like, we want to...
I'm just curious, not because I'm gonna fucking murder somebody.
That's what I'm saying, but that's scary, bitch. Like, what the fuck? They'll be like, oh, you looked this up, and I'm like, it's for my podcast.
Yeah. They also some of the searches, how to overdose someone on insulin.
You can actually do that.
I know.
Yeah.
So those type of searches, those type of settings were actually set to where they would delete after he searched them.
But nothing deletes.
Nothing is ever.
It goes to the cloud.
Was there a cloud then?
I don't know.
But I mean, it's forensic.
It does. Everything goes to the cloud.
But forensic technology people, like nothing's ever deleted off your computer.
Nothing's ever deleted. Nothing.
Now, those type of searches went back several months before Denise's murder. Mm-hmm. Now, everything they had gathered up to that point was enough to arrest Nathan.
Yeah.
And they did exactly that on March 6th of 2013.
But what did Nathan say? Que no era cierto?
Yeah, he said that it wasn't true, that it wasn't him.
So then, but did he admit to being dating Ina?
No.
Oh, okay.
So he was arrested on March 6th of 2013 after he had dropped off his children at school. He was like, he seemed so surprised.
How could you do this
and
to
scared?
The church man that is a missionary guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, pobrecito.
Exactly. His bond was set at $2 million.
Damn.
And he had to turn over his passport since he was well traveled and would usually travel outside of the U.S. For missionary work.
And with Ina to go
Europe and shit.
Yeah.
They believed that he was a flight risk, but his ass sat in jail because his bond wasn't posted, so he wasn't going to go anywhere anyways.
Not only that, but who's going to bond him out?
Towards the end of March, he was indicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder, which he pleaded not guilty to.
Duh.
Now, Nathan's trial began on July 14th of 2014. Mm-hmm. And the prosecution was going to argue that Nathan killed Denise because he wanted her gone so he could start a new life with Ina.
That's what I think.
They believe that the events took place like this. Nathan waited for Denise to leave their youngest at daycare. He then drove his car to Robinson Park, which was down the street, close to 12:15 or 12:20. He walked back to their home, staged the robbery, stood in the doorway waiting for Denise, and then shot her when she made it inside the home.
Can you imagine walking in, seeing your husband standing there to shoot you? That's crazy.
Yeah. He then got the spare keys, mm-hmm. and drove Denise's car to the park. Then he left the car there, got in his own car, mm-hmm. and then went about around town. And then once he got in his own car, drove to Starbucks, arriving at 12:45 to be seen on camera.
No, I mean, he knew what he was doing. He's not a dumbass. Oh, I mean, maybe he thought he wasn't a dumbass.
Now, all the evidence that was gathered that led up to Nathan's arrest was presented at trial. Also, Ina agreed to testify for the prosecution as long as she was granted immunity.
Of course, because she's trash.
When she took the stand, mm-hmm. she had an interpreter, right? And at times she'd get frustrated porque según el interpreter wasn't translating properly what she was saying, según, ¿verdad? And when they'd ask her questions about the places she had gone with Nathan and stuff that he paid for her and all that stuff, she was like, decía que no se acordaba. Y que no entendía la question. And this was her with the translator, right? So when she wasn't speaking English,
But then they should fucking put her in jail because I'm mad because you know why? Because they in that case, then you're not going by what we offered you. We said you were going to cooperate, but you were going to have immunity.
She said that she was going to testify.
Yeah. I mean,
she's testifying.
Well, I mean, she's testifying, but she ain't testifying you're not answering the fucking questions.
No les entiende, pues.
Ay, estúpida vieja.
At one point, Nathan raised his hand and asked. He said he could assist on the translation.
Sit the fuck down.
That's pretty much what they told him.
Sit the fuck down. What the hell's wrong with you?
But by the end of her questioning, she was like, fuck this shit. She was no longer using the translator. She was speaking perfect English. The prosecution made Ina read in court a note that Nathan had sent her about a month prior. Because remember, they used to communicate a lot. Yeah. Se mandaban así notitas and stuff, emails, I guess, or text.
No, cartitas, pues.
It read, agárrate los calzones.
Nombre.
Quote, I let you down and I'm sorry. I am not going to make excuses. That would not be fair to you. You deserve someone who respects you and puts the relationship first. And from now on, I want to do all that. I want to do all that I can to be that person. There is nothing more important to me than you in this relationship. I am so blessed to have you in my life and I know it. End quote.
Blessed.
Yeah.
You know what?
So they made her read that out loud. Another letter that Nathan sent to Ina in Lithuanian was read out loud by an interpreter. And it read, quote, I love you because you understand me better than anyone, and because I am a better person with you next to me. My life has a deeper meaning and purpose because you are my world and my everything, and that will never change. End quote.
That's
Still,
that's not something, but wait, that's not something that a sponsor and a sponsee would say to each other.
Right.
Right?
Now, Ina todavía was asked multiple times if she was having any type of relationship with Nathan, sexual, whatever, then him just being her sponsor, denied.
Mm-hmm.
Y de ahí nunca la sacaron. She denied it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know who else testified?
Who?
David Smith.
Who's David Smith?
Exactly. Let me tell you. David Smith was a fellow inmate of Nathan who was with him in jail.
Okay.
You know, because his ass sat in jail up until the trial.
Yeah.
He stated that while in jail, Nathan told David that Denise was overbearing and he was ready to move on with someone new in his life.
Oh.
A student named Anna or Lana or something. That's what David said. Something along those lines.
Bro.
That he initially thought about poisoning his wife with insulin or potassium, but decided to use a gun instead. David also says that Nathan told him of all the places he went to make sure he was captured on surveillance.
Yeah, because, he thought he was making the perfect murder.
And that he was wearing a black hoodie, but had to change his clothes because he thought que alguien lo había visto. Which is when he was agitated on the side of the road, que lo vio Diane Parrish, right? And finally, get this, bitch. He said that Nathan told him que él mató a Denise as a Valentine's Day present to Ina.
No.
See, bitch.
Wow.
And I know, like, inmates that are like snitches or whatever.
No. I appreciate those inmates.
And I know sometimes they're not all very like credible, and they just usually do it to get out of fucking jail for a couple of days, or do some dumbass shit like that, like the guy from the Brittany Drexel's case. Remember, he was just talking out of his ass. I can't remember his name. I think his last name was Brown.
But like the guys that were talking out of the case of what was his name? I can't remember his name. Clinton Young. So the case of Clinton Young,
but Clinton Young is because it was him, like it was his.
Yeah, but he got testimony from the other guys that were listening to that other guy saying that he had done it, and that there was, so I mean, I understand that.
Yeah. But the thing is that things that David Smith said Nathan told him, nobody knew.
Yeah.
So he would only know because Nathan told him that shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
But in my opinion, the biggest piece of evidence was presented was a letter that was discovered the day after Denise's murder. Mm-hmm. It was found inside her day planner, and it was written by her.
Okay.
To Nathan.
She wrote him a note.
She wrote it. Like, it was in her, it was from Denise. I'm going to read it, but it's a little bit long, but I feel like the whole thing needs to be read because it's like, what more? Like, this is it.
Yeah.
It says, quote, what on earth could you possibly be thinking? I can't imagine anything you could tell me that would hurt worse than what you are doing to me now, every day. I really don't think there is anything that I have done or not done that would cause me to deserve this. I've tried to please you for 17 years. I've never succeeded. I've never been good enough. Never done enough. I know that you want me dead. I'm not stupid. I suppose it will confirm my worthlessness to you when I write that I am not brave enough to do that job for you. And now all of a sudden you are taking me with you places? What is that all about? Maybe you think I don't feel bad enough. You act like you are somehow noble because you won't tell me why you are doing this. It makes me sick. I have been willing at any time to fall in love with you again, but you reject me every time. I wish I could hate you. I've tried to hate you because I thought it would make it easier. I thought it wouldn't hurt so bad. Of course, I couldn't do it. So I have felt that too. I have been without pride. I have humiliated myself to try to win something that belongs to me. You defraud me, and you don't seem to care. Well, I quit. I'm not going to try to please you anymore. I will do what I have to do, but no more of the game. You want to humiliate me by running around with a 20-year-old? Fine. I won't grovel. If I haven't pleased you in 17 years, nothing I do now will please you. And I refuse to leave my children just because you have decided to do this to me. You are the only person who thinks I am a bad mother. Complete strangers compliment me on them, so I would not join you in your obsession with perfection. I am the same person that I've always been. I'm not weaker and in many ways stronger. I refuse to play your perfectionism in that too. I have borne neglect and criticism and kept going, but now this? How long? How long are you going to do this to me? Oh yeah, until I break. That's what you said, isn't it? Well, happy waiting. End quote.
Wow. That is that right there. I mean, she knew, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Poor thing. Dude, but that was my deal. Like, they'd been together for so long. Like, and a lot of the times, and I'm not, giving the benefit of the doubt to Nathan, but a lot of the times when you do get with someone so young, sometimes there's a lot of times
you grow apart.
You grow apart, or you're like, oh, I wonder what it would be with someone else, or stuff like that. I don't know. But the thing is, there's no reason to kill anybody. Like that was just...
It's called a divorce.
Yeah,
you can separate.
You can separate.
It's okay.
But then, like, I think that the most hurtful thing that I think it hurt her the most was the fact that he called her a bad mother.
Yeah.
Like...
Dude, like, nobody... And like you said, that must have really hurt her because everybody would compliment her. She said that her kids were well-behaved. They were well-spoken. She would teach her kids. They were always spotless. Like... the best mom. She was the best mom to those children.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that if somebody would call me a bad mother, like that would, I don't know. I mean, which I'm pretty sure somebody has called me a bad mom because I'm not the best, but I'm fucking doing the best I can, but my deal is to where your husband that you are supposed to be doing this together, as a couple. And then if you've already fallen, like she said, like, it's cool, bruh. Go ahead. You fall in love with someone else, whatever, go about it. But there was no reason for him to leave their kids without a mother, dude. Like, that's fucked up.
No.
What did he say about that?
When he was interviewed, he said that Denise suffered with depression and they had their own issues. Okay. So he kind of explained that away that maybe it was just thought that she was having because she never told her sister. She never told her mom.
It's embarrassing.
She never told any of her friends.
It's embarrassing that your husband's going out with somebody that you...
A 20-year-old.
Yeah.
And that since you were 6.
Not only that, but you had her living at your parents' house. It's embarrassing. Yeah. What the fuck?
So now it's defense's turn, right? That's just kind of like an overview of what... I mean, there was way more, but that's just kind of an overview. I think those were the most important key points.
Yeah, I think that it was very important. You're right.
Now, the defense argued that the notes did not prove that Nathan had killed his wife. There was no physical evidence that pointed him to murdering Denise, which, I mean, he was right.
Yeah.
The prosecution's case was circumstantial. They never found the gun. Hugh Toner, which was Nathan's defense attorney, argued that investigators zeroed in on Nathan and they didn't look at any possible leads and that made the investigation faulty and incomplete. So él estaba diciendo pretty much that the investigators just ran with it's always the husband, quote unquote. Mm. Like, por ejemplo, que the investigators never followed up on the suspicious vehicles that Nathan saw in the neighborhood that he called the police about, right? Like, that would have been like another lead that they could have followed.
Mm-hmm. But they did go out there and the car was gone, según.
Right, but that was when he called, but not after, like, during the investigation after Denise had been murdered. Because, remember, he told them.
Yeah. But okay.
So, to that, a neighbor was called in and he actually testified that he himself also saw those suspicious vehicles that Nathan said that he saw too.
Okay.
But they were never followed up on.
Okay.
Also, remember I said that Diane Parrish testified? She saw, she talked about the man that she saw walking on the side of the road. Well, the defense cross-examined Diane, and Diane said that she saw what she saw, but that her husband, who she was with when they saw that guy, her husband remembered the man in the black hoodie as a black man. Mm. And Diane remembered him as a white man. Mm. And even Diane picked him out of a photo lineup, and it was a picture of Nathan. But they were both together, y él se está acordando de otra cosa completamente diferente, and she's saying...
I mean, it was dark.
It was 12.
Oh. I don't know. But, I mean, sometimes our eyes see what we want to see.
Right?
Yeah.
So they also pointed out issues with the timeline. The defense argued that Nathan would have had literally a very narrow window to pull off what he did if he was the one to have done it, right? Between shooting Denise, trashing the house, driving her car to the park a couple of blocks away, getting into his own car, driving to Starbucks to be caught on camera at 12:45 with no blood on him or anything like that. Everything, all of that would have happened in a 15-minute window to align with the timeline of Denise's murder. Mm-hmm. Now, there were tests conducted. Mm-hmm. Like, they went to all the places, like from the house to the park to drive to Starbucks to be there. And it could all fit, but it was like due to hair. Like, you were cutting it really, really close. Mm-hmm. Really close. Now, Nathan, in the end, did not testify because he said que cada vez que abría la boca, his words were misconstrued and taken as something else. So he didn't testify.
Okay.
Now, at the end of the trial, the jury deliberated for 90 minutes and came back with the guilty verdict. Nathan was found guilty of the first-degree murder of his wife, Denise Leuthold, and Judge Kevin Lyons sentenced him to 80 years in prison.
Damn. That's what you get.
Now, Nathan lost all his parental rights to his 3 kids, and they are being raised by Denise's parents, Diane and Douglas Newton. Mm-hmm. And that's the case.
Dude, I don't know why, and I don't know if anybody out there agrees with me. If you do, let us know. Leave us a comment. You're more than welcome to. That maybe Ina was there. Mm-mm. You don't think so?
She was accounted for.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, there's just a lot that I could have put in. I would have been here 2 hours, bitch. Yeah, they talked to each other. When he, side story, when he was in jail, bitch, they would talk to each other all the time on the phone. When he was being interviewed, he talked to her on the phone during breaks. He called her on her cell phone. Wanna call me on my cell phone? No. They were always talking to communication. He always denied the relationship. They explained everything away. He said that it wasn't like that. She denied it. He denied it. He had friends of his that actually knew him and Denise from when they were in high school, like a teacher. Mm-hmm. Stayed by him through his side, all said that Nathan didn't do it and stuff like that. But like, yeah, I get it. What they were saying, that the case was circumstantial. And I get that, if you're put on a jury, you have to see everything for what it is. Yeah, it was. But Denise's letter is what sealed it for me.
Yeah, I think Denise's letter is what got it. And then the fact that the people from the spa were like, oh, we didn't know that was his wife.
Yeah.
He comes with this other lady, and we didn't even know that was his wife. I am like, this was crazy to me because he really thought, if it was, I think it was him,
I think so too. He's convicted. So.
He's convicted. But if it I just don't understand, like, how in the hell he must have thought about that for a long time.
And it goes like you say, como, you can leave, you can separate. You took. And she sounded like a saint. Denise was a saint. I mean, I know nobody's perfect, but she sounded like she was. And you take that away from your children.
Yeah, like now your children don't have a mom and a dad.
Yeah. Well, good thing they don't have a dad because you're trash.
Yeah.
Pero,
you know what I mean? It's like, I just can't. I don't know.
And I always think about, like, when it's like situations like that, you're okay, so you're the child, but your parent killed your other parent. Like, what?
Yeah.
How do you
like get through that?
And at the time, Seth was 12, Julia was 10, and Janelle was 4.
No, ya entendía.
Yeah.
I mean,
los más grandecitos.
Los más grandecitos, that's crazy to me. But yeah. I mean, and not only that, but the fact that she felt like she needed to be perfect for him. Like, I feel like a lot of women feel that way. We have to change for our husbands or to make them happy or whatever.
Or they feel like they need to.
Or they feel like they need to as well.
O como decía su carta, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, pero okay. She said that she had been trying to please him for 17 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So her leaving to Lithuania and stuff like that she was trying to please him. Yeah. Like I said, and no era algo that she wanted to do herself. And yeah, she did it. She loved it. She was in it. And I'm sure,
she tried to make the best of what...
It was in her faith. She was a good Christian.
Yeah. But it's just, I just don't understand. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are in this, but I just don't understand how somebody can get to that point, which it happens all the time.
But that's crazy. But that's somebody crazy. Obviously time has nothing to do with it because you can know somebody a week and you can know somebody 20 years and they still, fuck you over.
Definitely.
Pero... like, you grew up with this person. You married this person.
You guys have been together since you were in the 4th grade, like...
High school.
High school.
Pero you had kids with this person. And, okay, if you want to separate, like we said, I get it. Separate, mm-hmm. People grow apart.
Yep.
I get that.
I get it.
But to, like, kill... Like you killed with your own fucking hands this person.
Yeah.
That you...
And then try to act like it was...
in her parents' house.
In her parents' house, yeah.
On Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day. And you bought her roses in a card?
Motherfucker. Piece of shit.
Yeah, he's trash.
Yeah, he is what he deserves to be.
And you know what? The bad bitch of the story
is Denise.
Because she left that note. If it wasn't because of that note, maybe he wouldn't have been. Maybe you never know what would have happened.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that she did that so that people can kind of get the insight of what was going on in their relationship, because everybody in the outside were like, they're good. They're good. Couple. And that's how it is. Most of the time you see them, you're like, oh wow, that couple is really happy. Oh wow, because of everything that you put on social media. But it's not like that. Sometimes people have dark backgrounds and that kind of stuff. So, and it's sad because they were so big into their church, and you really would think, oh wow, they're following the church as it is, but I'm pretty sure the church did not tell him to kill her.
No, yeah,
I'm pretty sure
there was a pastor too. I mean, somebody within the church that he had been reprimanded because he had been seen with Dinah, and they told him to quit that type of behavior or they were going to cut him off. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
he did it. He did it for sure.
Bitch.
Well, thank you so much for listening to us.
Thank you guys.
Happy Valentine's Day with that.
High five.
High five. Thank you so much for everybody's support. If you have any questions or concerns, you can please let us know on Cafecito and Crime
@gmail.com.
And also you can follow us on Instagram at
Cafecito and Crime Pod.
And that's it.
Thank you guys.
We'll listen. No, we won't see you. We will
hope you listen to us.
Yeah,
next
we will
time.
talk to you later.
Adios.
Adios.
Bye.